All right, guys. Tonight we are taking a look at potentially the coolest piece of equipment that I've ever seen, at least nylon equipment. It is a custom Crye patterned zip-on back panel. Not sure what size yet. I'll pull out one of my rigs and see. Hopefully it's not jumbo, because that would be sad face for me. But this thing is awesome. We'll get on the table and do it justice. But in case laying flat doesn't kind of express the layout very well, it has these dual side pockets, one on each side. I've got two 30-round PMags in here with extended base plate, and it zips up just fine over them. And then it's got this lower GP pocket. This was what got a little hard for me to figure out as I was looking at this thing. But lower GP pocket, we'll get into that in more detail. That is on the front face of this thing, right on the bottom edge. Then it's got compression straps on the bottom, running from back edge to front edge. And then compression straps on the face that run from kind of top edge to just above the GP pocket. MOLLE field, and then it is all a large pocket in there, again on a Crye platform. So let's get on the table, take a little bit closer look. All right, so as we get into this thing, I don't know what these are. I found them in one of the pockets. If that helps figure out where this might have came from, by all means, let me know in the comment. I don't know. They're like, I don't know. I'm not sure what they are. Never seen those things before. Okay. So looking at this thing, this oddly enough is the second completely custom back panel that I've gotten my hands on this year. And the first one was very cool. And then this one blew it out of the water, in my opinion. And I get it. And I'm fascinated to try to see like the thought process that went into it, and then kind of what was cannibalized to build it. And I'm kind of at a loss on this one. I can't figure out what went into this. So starting on the outer face, you've got this kind of horizontal GP pocket here, and I'm trying to place what it is, and I just don't know. So looking on the edge here, you can see there was some Velcro. I'm not sure if that'll show up. This is not Velcro mounted, but there was clearly Velcro on this pouch that was then just sewn onto the rest of this panel. And it's not just a GP pocket. So when I opened it up, I noticed it has kind of a custom bellowed pocket on the inside here that was sewn in. And just on the the outer face of that small GP pocket, little zipper pull there, and then you can see it's just kind of a pocket that's there. As far as I can tell, everything in here is sterile tag wise, and I have not run across any indication of what this stuff is. And I'm scratching my head to try to think about what horizontal GP has a Velcro backer that's that size. This was very clearly added after the fact. Don't know what that came from. That looks like it was just made for this, but kind of wild. And I don't really know. It's rather small, so I don't know kind of what that was put in there for. Open to any thoughts, any and all thoughts on what that could be. Right. And then looking at the sides here, these pockets appear to have been made for this, just based on kind of the way it's finished. I'm not familiar with any brands that reinforce around the zipper with webbing like that. It's got some pen on it, which leads me to believe somebody kind of cut this out and built it for this use. And then, interestingly enough, it is kind of just tacked on between the zipper and the front panel here, and this is actually a pass-through top and bottom behind this pocket. Again, that fit 2 M4 mags without any issues with base plates on them. So kind of an interesting sized pocket there. I tried an Nalgene. It's too small for an Nalgene. It fit 16-ounce water bottles like a champ. And I didn't try a radio because it just doesn't look like it was built for a radio. Could have been. It would probably fit commercial Motorola, if not a 152 or 148 in there. If you just kind of left the top open so stuff could come out. All right, that's on both sides. Identical construction there, as far as I can tell. On the bottom of this panel, you've got these compression straps, which I'm leaning towards some sort of medic use on this. I'm not a medic, obviously, so I could be way off on that, but just kind of looking at the generalized footprint, like maybe a litter or something there, and maybe a litter up there. I'm not sure. I don't know what else I would really want to compression strap to a zip-on back panel like that. I'm just kind of drawing a blank on what the use would be, unless you were going, which doesn't make any sense to me, like full-blown sustainment, and you've got cold weather layers, potentially sleep pad. Like it's not that big of a back panel to go that far, in my opinion. Right. Looking at the top half here, again, you got compression straps. All this is like sewn into the seams between this bottom pocket and then the top face. It's a little rough around the edges on some of it, but like it's well done. It just looks used, and I think it's built to last well enough for kind of the lifespan of the materials. Right, but again, compression strap there. Not a lot of slack, so I'm not quite sure what you would be putting on the outer face of your back panel that you would need that compression strap, because it's not really taking up any slack on the panel. It's just holding something there, and it's kind of a weird footprint. We've got like the TACMed Solutions, I think, collapsible litter or fold-up litter, and that wouldn't really retain it super well. It's a little bit too narrow for that. I think it would work itself out really well, really easily. So it's kind of wide spacing to brainstorm what would have been in there. And then it's got a pretty respectable PALS field up there. So 6 columns wide, 4 rows tall. That's a pretty hardy GP pocket that you could mount there if you wanted to. 4 flashbangs would go in there real easy, extra ammo, a whole bunch of things. Looking at this now, actually, this chunk of space here would fit a Crye sideways exceptionally well. Down here you could also fit a Crye pretty well, and you could cinch that down so it's probably not going to work itself out. So maybe I'm a dummy and this was going more EOD or engineer type use. Not sure. Right. Looking inside, the interesting things keep going. So on the inside of the outer face here, you've got a full length vertical zipper that runs down, and then there is a kind of super flat pocket in here. I swear I've seen that feature on a pack before. I can't quite place it. I don't know if it's the Eagle beaver tails that have it in there or a different variation of beaver tail, but I've seen kind of that weird pocket there before. The only difference is, if I'm not crazy and making that up already, is it's always been on the back face for like a pack frame or a frame sheet type setup. So I'm not quite sure what the intended use there was either. And then on the body side, there's this tweave-ish, looks a little off, tweave pocket here with a Velcro closure for hydration, bladder, or whatever else you need there. I don't know if there's any more debris in here. I'm not seeing anything else. But like, you can tell this is all custom done because it's not really color matched Velcro. You typically see tan Velcro used with multicam, and this is kind of some OD stuff. And then like the heights don't match, so if somebody had a bunch of 1-inch hook and 2-inch loop, And then they had some one wrap sewn in here. I kind of believe the one wrap was already there on whatever host platform, but maybe not. I can't really tell how cannibalized this thing is, but you can definitely tell how homemade a bunch of it is, or kind of custom made a bunch of it is. Like, you don't see a lot of that stitching in a lot of products these days, as far as I can remember. Right, and then the top edge here, you've got hydration ports, antenna ports. You could probably run a radio in here if you wanted to. There's no side-to-side compression straps. You could absolutely figure that out if you needed to kind of keep your radio stable. But that's all done after the fact, just based on the way it's kind of like blown out and then sewn down. You've got more pen in here showing kind of the custom sizing or kind of one-off sizing on it. And then on the mounting portion here, I do think this was a purpose-built panel, whether it be Crye or one of the handful of aftermarket zip-on panels that fit Crye. I'm not 100% sure, but it has the very Crye-like buttons there. And then up top here, this part's also kind of throwing me. So you've got these two webbing loops here with a metal D-ring, I think D-ring, on there, which I think would work pretty well to mount some webbing there that kind of interfaces with your shoulder strap. Because this thing is so big and bulky, the mounting is going to hold it pretty well, but then you could run this over your shoulder strap to just kind of keep everything a little bit more stable on your back. But this thing is stinking cool. Huge fan of it. I'm going to get it mounted just as soon as I can get a Crye pattern vest pulled out and handy to see what size it is. I'm a little concerned that this is large or extra large, but we'll see. I don't know. Either way, super cool thing. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna mess around with this thing and just see how goofy I can make a plate carrier with it. So thanks.